Hello Maverick traders, this is Imri and welcome to today's Market Roundup. Okay, well there sure is a lot to talk about, as seems to be the case usually on Thursdays when I do these roundups for whatever reason. So let's get right into it. Big jump in gold today, a big jump in the crypto market as well. Bitcoin Cash up something like 20% at the time that I'm recording this. Absolutely insane. We'll take a look at that in a little bit more detail. Equity strong and the yen strengthens. However, if you've been paying attention to these recordings over the last few weeks, I have been saying that the typical currency correlations that we can expect seem to be broken, at least for the time being. And that's certainly the case today. You know, I don't think, conventionally speaking, too many currency analysts would expect the yen to have a really strong day of relative outperformance while equity markets have a great day of their own. So you can see here in the S&P 500, I've got a key level at 41.77. I believe we're on the way to test that next. We've busted out of this parallel channel that I've been keeping an eye on for some time. The only thing that's really left here for this market to really prove itself is to take out that key level, which should also correspond with a bullish moving average crossover. And now here in the Vanguard Total World Stock Index, we have the corresponding key level here at 94.70. Okay, that's going to be a very important level to take out. Definitely keeping an eye on that. We've busted out of this long-standing level coming in right around 87 that I've had my eye on for quite some time here, and we're now trading our way to that 94.70 key level. And in the crypto index, this is a very bullish setup, I must admit. Okay, so near term, we have to clear the resistance from this doji candle right here, but it doesn't look like that's too significant a resistance point, so I wouldn't be shocked if we're able to take it out. As far as candlestick analysis goes, we have this doji candlestick followed by this extremely bullish bar, and we're on the cusp of that 20 and 50 period moving average crossover. So very exciting stuff there as well. So I'm going to give this market a +2. Like I said, the only thing we need really for this to be a +3 would be that 20 and 50 period moving average crossover to point to the upside. In terms of news, there isn't really too much left, but tomorrow morning we're going to have another inflationary reading come in, so we're going to see a core PCE price index come in. So we'll see if that will cause any market volatility. But speaking of news today, it really looks like the market did not care about the GDP contraction. Equity markets anyway, the dollar has been quite bearish. And that just, this is a separate topic. If you're interested in this topic, let me know. But I'm fascinated by the cause and effect arguments that economists put forwards between economic news events and corresponding market movements. And I'm not going to bury the lead. It's just, I was going to say it's just my personal opinion, but it's not just my personal opinion. There's been extensive research done on this, especially by Robert Prechter, who is a key proponent of an emerging field called socionomics, and he's developed something called the socionomic theory of finance, which in my opinion does an excellent job of debunking a lot of the causal mechanical relationships that most market observers associate between market movements and news events. But like I said, that's a whole other topic. If you're interested in it, let me know, and I'm delighted to speak about that in greater detail. Anyway, moving on to some currency analysis. So, big day for cryptos, Bitcoin Cash leading the pack, but Litecoin also looking very, very bullish. Cardano is kind of the odd one out, pretty much remaining flat on the day at time of recording. And over in the fiat world, it's a pretty interesting story here. Yen clearly outperforming, and pretty much everything else suffered against the yen. So if you were long yen today, you did very, very well. If you weren't long yen, it was probably more likely to be a mixed bag. So we're going to take a look at some yen crosses in just a little bit. On the velocity side of things, on the crypto side, pretty much everything is looking very good. On the fiat side, the yen's showing some very strong signs of positive velocity, whereas the euro, the Aussie, the Canadian dollar, and especially the US dollar seem to be showing much more negative signs of velocity. So we're going to be taking a look at that right now as we head into some possible trades. Okay, so first off, I've got Canada yen here. I think this cross is going to be headed lower. My expectation is that we're going to go on and test the 103.50 level. So my personal playbook is to look to continue to sell Canada yen on rallies, look for an initial move down to 103.50, which is just over 100 pips from where we are right now. And then I'll be looking to see if we can test 102, which would be my secondary target. Dollar yen, arguably more exciting. I wouldn't be shocked if over the next several weeks we're testing 126. Dollar yen year to date has gone up as much as like 21%, I believe. So I really wouldn't be shocked to see an unwind, of that occurring. So if I pull up some Fibonacci retracement levels from the base of this rally here, which was really back in, in very early 2021, right at the beginning of 2021, and we're looking at a 38.2% retracement, that comes in just below the 126 level. All right, so I really wouldn't be surprised to see around the 126 getting tested over the next several weeks. So on the fiat currency side, I think, those two trades are going to be very interesting. They're primarily what I'll be focused on, I think, over the next little while. In crypto land, Bitcoin's very, very interesting to me as well. We're peaking out over this, above this parallel channel. I'm not as convinced. Okay, I'm not that convinced that this is not going to fall apart. The slope of this movement doesn't look like an obvious trend reversal to me. If I pull up some moving averages, yes, on the daily we are trading both above both, and we're looking at a potential bullish cross here. But I'm going to be patient on Bitcoin, personally speaking. Bitcoin Cash, okay, up 21% right now. My goodness. Look, if I pull up my momentum indicators, momentum looks very sharp, very positive. Okay, we're getting a MACD cross above the zero line, and the RSI is headed into overbought territory. Now, overbought does not mean over. But on the 4-hour chart, the momentum is just extreme. So given how extreme it is, if you are bullish Bitcoin Cash and you want to play Bitcoin Cash to the upside, I really would wait for some kind of pullback here, because these kinds of parabolic moves simply are unsustainable. So that's it for me, guys, on the trade front. I'm really looking at Canada yen and dollar yen, hoping we get a bit of a pullback overnight, and looking to play for a trend continuation pattern as we trade into tomorrow's end of week session. Okay, so in conclusion, equity markets look bullish. Whether we pull back tomorrow or not, I don't think that's going to change the fact that in the S&P we're going to try and test that 41.77 level. What's wild? Okay, this is what's wild to me. This does not feel like a typical capitulation bottom, all right, which is what I certainly would expect to see when stock markets had their worst start to the year in like 50 years or something like that. So a capitulation bottom is when there is no hope left in the world, all right, and everyone's ready to throw in the towel. They think the world's going to end. That's clearly not what's happening here, which is a little bit odd. Do we need a capitulation bottom? No, but the fact that we don't have one, just in the back of my paranoid mind, makes me wonder if there's another shoe to drop. But anyway, pretty much everyone is, I'm seeing a lot of chatter online, seeing a lot of articles written about how the Fed's going to start making a dovish turn by September. Geez, I mean, that it just tells me that people are champing at the bit to go along this market. And again, I think that can provide some bullish momentum for a short period of time, but it's just not typical of what I would expect to see in terms of a real bear market bottom. It's also a little GDP contraction was definitely not a concern for equities today. I'm not going to speak on the economic logic that people are trying to ascribe to that. I'm just going to say point blank, what seems to be bad news, the market's rejecting, and that's typically a bullish sign. Okay, so don't fight the market that's in front of you if it doesn't make sense to you. Okay, just whether it makes sense to you or doesn't make sense to you is not going to change what the market is going to do. That applies for currencies as much as it does for equities or crypto or any other freely traded market out there. So what I'm trying to say is trade the market in front of you and understand that trends, as much as people want to justify them using rational facts and logic, trends inevitably become a collection of herders, right? And when a market herds, it can trend strongly, but it's going to trend irrationally, right? So it's not going to make sense to you, and that's okay. It doesn't have to make sense to you from a logical perspective in order to be able to take advantage. So that's my little nugget of trading wisdom for the day. Good luck tomorrow if tomorrow's a trading day for you, and if not, no shame in that. I'm like I said, if I don't get my setups in those yen crosses I mentioned earlier, I'm happy to sit back and sit on my hands. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.